Hello everyone, this is Ashley Tucker. Thank you for joining me today. Today I have a simple thank you card design using some floral stamps. I think that this design could also work really well for a Mother's Day card. This stamp set is no longer available, but you could use any floral set to get a similar look. Before I started the stamping, I die cut a circle from white cardstock. All of the stamping is going to be done on this circle. I used my Misty tool so that I could stamp everything multiple times if I needed to. And I did end up stamping most of these floral images at least twice, if not 3 times, to get a really crisp, clear image. I used Distress Oxide ink for all of the stamping here. I wanted to test it out and see how well it stamped, because I've used it for other techniques, but I haven't used it for stamping yet. And I think it worked really well for stamping. This is a very versatile ink. The thank you sentiment was stamped using iced spruce, and for the flowers and leaves I used seedless preserves, fossilized amber, and peeled paint. After all of the stamping was done, I took out an embossing folder, and this is like a basket weave embossing folder, and I just embossed a piece of white paper. At this point I realized that I needed this circle to be just a little bit smaller, so I die cut it again. And then I also die cut this larger circle out of a really dark gray cardstock, and that's going to be my border. So I just adhered those together with my ATG gun. Instead of a white card base, I decided to pull out this craft cardstock base. I just thought it went really well with the overall look I was going for. I cut out 2 pieces of twine because I know that I want to tie a bow around the bottom of this piece, and in order to get them placed really nice and straight, I used some tape and just taped them down. And then I'm going to go right over that with my foam tape and then tape the whole thing to my card base. After I get that all nice and adhered, I'm going to work on tying my bow. To get a nice bow on a card, you just kind of got to keep working with it. I started out by tying a knot where I want the bow to be, and then I made, my bunny ears and tied it like a bow. And you just kind of keep pulling on both ends of the strings back and forth until you get it to how you want it to look. I like my bow loops to be a little bit on the smaller side, and once I get them to where I want them to be, I'm going to just trim off the extra twine. And it doesn't have to be super perfect. If it looks a little funny, then you just kind of go with it. Tell people that's what you were going for, right? It's a rustic look, right? I used foam tape to mount on this circular piece, and then I decided to add little dots to fill in some of those white areas to make it kind of flow a little bit better. So I used a purple marker, and you could use any fine point purple marker. I tried to make it kind of match the purple flowers, but actually these are from 2 separate companies. They're completely different inks, but they match pretty well. Once I finished adding a bunch of purple dots, I took out my Stella brush and I went over the sentiment with it so that it would be glittery. After I finished with the Stella, I decided I wanted some more dots, but this time I decided to use a yellow marker. And I just did little groups of 3 dots for all of these. It's such a small detail, but it really does make a big difference. I put a little dot of glue under the bow so that it would stay flat to the card, and then this card is done. Thank you for watching today. I hope you really enjoyed this card design. All of the supplies that I used for this card can be found in the description down below. I will be back with a new video on Monday. Again, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a really great weekend.